So in a way, this is also something that you have to put it in a context. So Korean men in their 20s and 30s, unless they are working for Japanese colonial government, there were no jobs or no positions for Korean people. Some people can be involved with business, but eventually, if you go high up in business, there are a lot of limitations for Korean people can do so much. So in a way, a lot of people, you know, are frustrated. There are no more social mobilities or opportunities. So these are some women and men. They are, you know, enjoying the beautiful scenery together. And then this is my favorite, Kubonung's paintings. So in a way, like a diamond mountain, right? Like a Jongsun's diamond mountain. So high cliffs here or low mountains there. But in Kubonung's case, these are subjective colors. So, you know, like a Gauguin or Matisse, sky can be as red as like a volcanoes, right? Lava. And then the mountains are beautiful colors of aqua blue and green. So Hu Bo-neung is a superb oil painter. And this is a portrait of a woman. So this is how painting is displayed in the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art. And then this is an interesting story. So I told you that colonial male citizens, they don't have any jobs or, you know, proper positions to go to. So Yi-sang was a novelist, and he was also a surrealist. Yi-sang is known for his surrealist poems and novels. Surrealists. Yeah, so Yi-sang briefly ran a cafe. It's called the Swallow Cafe. It looks very tacky and old-fashioned. So because they don't have any social venues like a university professorship or you know, museum directorship, there were no positions. They would hang out in this cafe to talk about their creation and their projects. So they are salon for artists and writers. So Hu Bo-neung was one of them in this Swallow Cafe. And then this is Park Soo-gun that we are going to see later. So Park Soo-gun was also, you know, occupying part of this cafe. But Yi-sang died rather young. He died in 1938 or something. He died very young. And then Yi In-sung was an amazing painter. And, you know, usually you will see this kind of birth year and death year. You know, he could have lived again up to 1970s, right? But 1945, the war is over. In 1950, there was the Korean War. So a lot of these painters were forced to move to North Korea. Some were voluntarily went to Korea, but some were sort of kidnapped or taken to North Korea. And, you know, so that's why they have this short date. They either died or they stayed a little bit longer, but they died in 1955, like this. But Yi In-sung was a magnificent oil painter in large scale like this. So Yi In-sung, whenever he showed something in Chosun Art Exhibition, he usually won a second or first prize. And this work, A Day in Autumn, it shows maybe brother and sister, you know, in a beautiful autumn field. But I want to also tell you that this kind of depiction of Korean people as if they are in paradise or as if they are in sort of underdeveloped prime conditions, this is what colonial government liked it. Like a Japanese colonial government liked to depict Korean people in this manner of not very well, you know, progressed or not very well sophisticated condition, so that many artists had to paint this type of folk style subject matters. And you know that if you paint this type of subject matters, you usually get well received. You don't want to paint that sophisticated urban citizens like Yin-sang or like Yi-sang drinking coffee in this modernized space. They wanted to paint farmers or women working in the field. Like people look a little bit detached from the modern world, but still living in this nostalgia or dream life. Those were more encouraged. So this looks like as if these 3 Korean children are living in a beautiful garden, right? The horse or dog is right here, and then the boat is here. But in fact, you should use your own reason. Like, colonial citizens are not having such a happy, beautiful childhood. You see what I'm saying? Like, their parents are working hard in the field, but they have a high taxation. Or their older sisters are maybe taken to factories to work. Or, their older brothers could not finish college because he was a little bit expressive in political views. So they don't live in this bucolic, beautiful springtime childhood. But in Chosun Art Exhibition, the colonial government wanted to see something like this. People live in harmony, and they act and look like people from 30 years ago. Those kind of retro style. They liked it. And Ikwede is really amazing artist. So he was also taken to North Korea. He is called Korea's Michelangelo. So this is Ikwede himself in a hybrid fashion. Like, this is what I wrote about hybrid dandyism. Often in the early 20th century, people wear traditional durumagi, traditional clothes, along with European accessories like a hat or shoes or umbrellas, or they may carry walking cane, those kind of accessories, or maybe they have a wristwatch. It's a hybrid fashion, so I talk about those. So Ikwede didn't want to look like a Yin-sung. You see Yin-sung, like how modernized he is, but Ikwede was more like a nationalist, so he wanted to walk around streets like this. He didn't want to forget his own identity. And then behind him is, again, beautiful countryside where women are carrying water jars or food on top of their head. So this is Ikwede's work. Isn't it amazing? Like this kind of work. So he grew a large number of people in a heroic nude in the manner of Michelangelo, and Ikwede was a little bit more rebellious in a sense. So that this is right after the Korean independence. So 1948, he wanted to celebrate this group of Korean people who survived that oppressive colonial regime and became triumphant winners. So it's called liberation, and there are different groups of people, but here they have a traditional clothes, but in their anatomical details of the body, they look more like a European painters of Nicolas Poussin or Michelangelo or Titian, those kind of European masters underneath those Korean dresses. He wanted to celebrate the depiction of independence. So if you see the group in the foreground, the 3 of them, like women, 2 women and men, they really looks like a disguised Greek gods and goddesses, right? Even like a Parthenon, you see this kind of combination of Zeus or Dionysius reclining with the 2 other goddesses. So Ikwede is really, really remarkable painter.